No, 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 we're serious.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're hearing well and now watching. Okay, yeah, perfect. So today we are united here to connect with the root chakra in the physical body, in the physical aspect of Libra. They're asking how it was. I think it was fine. For me it was normal, so I don't know if it was. So I don't want to explain too much because of course it was more experiential, but it was really chaotic at the beginning, and as it was supposed to be, and then in balance, so it was nice. And the goal was to simulate the information through vibration. So we have been um, um, practicing that by singing, and it was really nice. Of course, they are the ones that should speak about about what happened. For me, it was like everyday thing, but but I think it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Amazing. They don't feel nothing.
It was fine. It
I
was fine.
expect to feel something. I pray for everybody.
So I don't know if you could read it today, the blog, but the information for today is related to sexuality and sensuality. So we are closed by Scorpio energy, so we start to go into depth. Of course, it's a hard topic for our civilization today, but we will speak about it many times along the year. So this was kind of an explanation and an introduction of it in such a way. But we will go deeper into that. Of course, that for today we are related to the physical aspect of the root chakra, so the genitals. So this is why we are talking about sexuality in that specific way, not like before someday that we spoke about it through the soul, through the aspect of the soul. So first of all, to understand the concepts that we are going to discuss, we have to go to the origin of the word, so the etymology. So I know that sometimes maybe I am a little bit, how do you say, heavy? Pushing? I don't know, with etymology. Like etymology all the time. But the thing is that we usually learn a lot of words in our society today without a meaning. We just repeat them, and we give them another meaning that is not related with the original. So we lose exactly what they mean. Okay. So this is why I always go into that information. The origin of the word sexuality means the attribute of sex, and sex comes from the Latin word sectus or secta, that means to separate things. So everything that is, for example, the word section also comes from that word, and it means to separate things when they are somehow different. So in the past, they said, okay, women has this genital, the other ones that has this genital, so they have different sexes. So they are separated biologically. So that's the sexuality that they were talking about, but also they use the same word to define beliefs. So this is why we call sectus, secta, to the religious, for example, religious different thoughts, the different thoughts of different beliefs that existed. It was a way to call it. As we may see now, sexuality is not related at all with what we today think it is. We think that sex is related with the genitals when it's not. It's basically related with the idea that there are different groups, that they are separated by biology, that they are separated by emotions, and that they are separated by beliefs. So it doesn't matter in which level you are, you will be sexual, basically. So that's basically what it means. The aspect of sexuality that we have today, and we relate it with sex, is basically what the ancients did. I mean, in the past 2,000, 3,000 years, a lot of people started to divide the concept of feminine and masculine, women and men. So they said, okay, so men and women has to have kids. So they interpreted that sexuality, sex, was to separate these two genders, but to find the balance also. So how do we find the balance in between both of them? By having kids. So the women and men should have kids. That was the thought, and this is why we relate the sexuality with having sex for kids, to have children, okay, to reproduce. And why is this? Because there was a moment in history where people used to die when they were 35, 40 years old. So the main religions, they said, if we don't reproduce, we will die. So the gift of God is to have kids. So the only goal of women and men was to reproduce. So they started to talk only about women and men doing sex, because they were two different things that created a new one. So this is the concept of why we started to call sexuality the act of reproduction. But this is all because of Christianity and other religions, monotheistic mostly, that they thought that so they could reproduce. Okay. So today, this is why today we still have this concept of sexuality by reproduction, or by putting the genitals together. basically that's the concept. So another word to understand the origin is something that we hear today a lot, which is gender. Okay, the word gender. We are talking about diversity of gender, but gender, the origin of this, is talking about genes. It's talking about the generation and the genitals. All these words comes from genitus in Latin, that is to originate something. That's the meaning, is to originate something. That's why they call it genitals, because genitalis means those organs that generate life. Okay, so this is why when we speak about genitals or gender, the origin of the word is talking about male and female, and that's it. There's only two, unless you are hermaphrodite, but there's only two by nature. So this is what gender means. So when we speak about diversity of gender, it's not what you think you are, it's about what you really are in your biology. Okay, this is one of the things. So sexuality, it has no relation with gender in its original word, because sexuality is a way in which you organize the different genders. So you divide feminine and masculine, and that's it. That's how sexuality works. Is the tool to divide, not the tool to explain genders. Okay, so this is one thing. So in the other hand, now we will have the concept that we should talk about in our current society, which is sensuality. Sensuality comes from the Latin word sensus, which is the ability to feel, to perceive, to have sense. The sensation means that you are perceiving the reality through your 5 senses. So it's all about perception, about how you feel it, about how you connect, okay, with the reality. So this is a much more accurate word in order to explain how we live today our sexuality. Sensuality is related with 5 senses. So these 5 senses are the ones that allows me to feel, to perceive, to relate myself with something different that I perceive of myself and that I perceive from the rest. So it's here when we can speak about diversity, because it's your feeling, your sensations, your perceptions of who you are and what are the others that makes you be what you believe. If you have a body of a man but you feel you are a woman, so in the sensuality you can say, yes, I am a woman. If you feel otherwise, you're a woman feeling a man, in the sensuality you say, yes, I am a man. And you can be called men or women because it doesn't matter, because it is what you think you are, what you perceive of yourself. So it's here in the sensations, it's here in the sensuality where you can talk about the diversity of everything that you can become, everything that you are. We are fighting to try to accept the diversity with a concept that doesn't have diversity by its origin. So it's like a lost fight. It doesn't have any end. It doesn't have a goal. So there is where you find diversity. Let's go to another level, because we have spoken about our society and how it is today. But we have to understand that everything that exists, all in this matter, the reality that we have, was created by the mind of the spirit. So the spirit has created everything. So it created everything so it could feel. And we have to understand this, that we sometimes believe that the spirit created all of this to find the spirit. And that's absurd, because why someone would create something to find itself if it was already there? So the spirit is not trying to find itself. The spirit is a creator trying to perceive, to feel what it has created. So it needs to feel, to experience its own creation. So the only way the spirit can perceive and live its own creation is only by sensations. It's only by the senses. So this is why sensuality is the way in which you can perceive the spiritual world. Is the way in which the spirit can experience its own creation. It's easy. So you need to perceive with your senses by sensuality, and sensuality is basically a tool for the spirit to experience what it has created. So this is why the spirit is infinite, and this is why in sensuality you have infinite opportunities to be what you are, what you want to be. So there is the diversity in the sensuality. So one of the usual mistakes that we do in history was to think that sexuality and sensuality, they are low vibrational things, that in order to find the spirit you have to meditate and go up, high vibration. So go away from all that. But basically that precisely is the thing that took us away from the spiritual path, because the energy of the spirit is created in the Kundalini, which is the root chakra. So the only way you can connect with the divine within is with your matter. So the only way you can perceive, feel, acknowledge the spirit is by living and feeling here and now. That's the only way. The rest will come just if you acknowledge what you are now. Before we had monotheistic religions and the segregation, which is the word for sexuality, to separate everybody, in the ancient cultures, there was not segregation by sex. They were erotic. The ancient civilizations were erotic. And from where comes this name? It comes from the god of love, Eros. Eros is the god of love for Greece. So erotic is everything that is related with Eros, the god of love. So this concept is the one that the ancient civilizations used to work. So men with men, women with women, women with men, doesn't matter, because it was just experiencing the different types of love. So basically the difference and the joint of sex and sense would be, sex is the tool for the sense, because sense is too many things. So sex relate, like separate the senses so you can understand what you are feeling in each time. So sexuality, as we interpret it today in our current days, is another tool for sensations. So it's another tool for sensuality. It's just that. It's something that helps to feel. But before, you need to experiment with sensuality, which would be the ability to perceive with your five senses everything that you are, that you have, and also to share it with others. So we have a lot of things to talk about this, of course, but the most important thing to acknowledge about this is that the only way you will allow the spirit to perceive its own creation is by allowing yourself to perceive your reality through the five senses. And through these five senses, you are going to be able to perceive, to connect, to allow the spirit to feel this reality, which would be the correct sensuality. That's the thing that we must acknowledge. So I want to say another thing, that about feeling, about sensations. I'm saying that in order to feel the spirit, you need to practice with your sensations, with your five senses. So your sexuality. But this doesn't mean that tomorrow you have to run and make an orgy, okay? Because it's not that. Because it's not an orgy will help you to connect with the spirit. So when I'm talking about sensuality, it's about learn how to feel, how to sense. So it's about how to administrate your own energy, how to use and handle your own energy. When we start in this kind of path and suddenly we understand that the trapped energy are in the sexual energy, some groups of spirituality or communities start to say, so maybe we have to have sex with everyone so we can transform the energy and so on, okay? So this creates a conflict, because from the people from the outside, they say, oh, they are just together because they want to have sex. And from the point of view of the group, they would say, we are doing this because this is the only way in which we can unblock all this energy from the Kundalini and so on. And both of them are somehow wrong. So let's talk a little bit about this. To understand this, why this is mistaken, we have to remember that sensuality and sexuality, to understand what it is about learning how to handle your own energy by 5 senses. Okay, so it's more related with the tantra. Tantra is not about sex with genitals. It's about how to use the energy of your body, to organize the energy of your body through 5 senses. Okay, so it's something that you have to work with yourself. In next steps, someday you have to practice sexuality, the genital sexuality, but this is not a need in the process. Okay, the most important thing is to know how to handle your own energy, so when you are with other people you don't lose energy. Basically you recreate energy. Okay, but don't think that you will practice the connection with the spirit by having sex. No. If someone tells you, no, let's go, we have sex and we connect with the spirit, no, that's not the way. You're losing time. Yeah. So that's it. Okay, that's it. The vibration for the day is sho. Sho. The statement is, I am fruit of all evolution. The code for today is the law of vibration. The third law of the universe is the one that unites us all. All things, for static as they may look, are vibrating. For everything moves incessantly. Never said that word. In different frequencies, generating the sound of the universe. All that acknowledges itself is in the same resonance, for the cosmos is itself like a radio station, where every reality is heard in a tuning according to its vibration. So we begin by sitting comfortable, stretching the body, yawning, massaging. I let all my weight fall down, just relaxing and focusing only in your breathing. As I breathe very deep, I bring my attention to my left foot. Very softly, I begin to move my toes, the foot, and smooth circles with your ankle. I begin to bring my attention to the movement of my left knee and left hip. I take my attention to my waist, bending my body towards the left, feeling the pressure in the waist and coming back to the center. I bring my attention going up to my left hand, moving my fingers and smooth circles in the wrist. And I go up by the elbow and the shoulder. I pay attention to my neck and I start to move slowly my head in circles towards left. And very softly I stop and begin to turn the head in circles towards the right. I bring the movement to the right shoulder, the elbow. I begin to move in soft circles my wrist, my right hand and its fingers. I bend my body towards right, feeling the pressure in the waist, and come back to the center. And I bring my attention to the movement of my right hip and knee. Until I move very softly in circles my ankle, the right foot and its toes. Relax the body. I pay attention to the I am above my head, and with a deep breath, I invite it to get inside my body. I feel it coming down through the crown, third eye, throat, heart, plexus, sacrum, and anchor in the root chakra, expanding its light in my genitals. Using the two fingers of each hand, we pay attention to the physical aspect of our genitals, massaging all around, making pressure over it, acknowledging each part of the physical genitals and root chakra. I start to move this massage and pressure towards my legs, so I open the portal for the energy to come to the ground. I relax my hands, allowing myself to perceive this energy moving through the matter. Take a deep breath and begin to resound, activating my essence and consciousness in my genitals. Sure. Take a deep breath. I am the fruits of evolution. I am the fruit of evolution. I am the fruit of evolution. And being aware that each joint that we have moved is a portal, I will bring this awareness from my genitals towards all my body by moving, stretching, yawning, massaging. And we come back here, and now opening our eyes softly. So, thank you all of you, and see you tomorrow at the same time as always. Bye.
Bye.
Yes.